Now, thinking of needs, now let's talk about sharing with others and what that looks like and what that can tell us about ourselves. So think about the person in the world who you love the most. It might be your spouse, it might be a child, it might be, I don't know. The person in your life you love the most, and there's a special occasion that's coming up. It's a birthday, anniversary, Christmas, something, whatever it is. And you want to get them the perfect gift. And so you think about them and you think about what they like and what they don't like, and you go shopping, and you go shopping in person, you go shopping online, you're looking for something, and finally you find it. It's the perfect gift. And so you go and you go to buy it, and it's too expensive. You don't have that much money. Well, good thing you were planning ahead, because now you can work, and you can work for a few months and save up the money to buy the present, and you do. And you get the present and you put it aside and you put a nice letter with it and so on, with all the love that you've got, and you wrap that up, and the day comes and you come to their place and you knock on the door. And with eager expectation, you watch as they open the door. And you smile and you hand them the present. And they take the present and they throw it on the ground and they stomp on it. And they slam the door. How do you feel? Why do you feel that way? You're like, well, why wouldn't I feel that way? Okay, well, let's go through a different scenario. This time you work for Oops, and you've been working for them for a long time. I mean, UPS, and you enjoy your job. You like what you do. You like driving the big trucks, and you like stopping at doors and meeting new people and whatever. And one day you stop at a particular residence. You grab the package, the box for that residence, and you take it up to the door and you knock. And the resident of the home comes out, you have them sign for the package, they sign for it, they take the package, they throw it on the ground, and they stomp on it. And they slam the door. How do you feel? Yeah, okay. So, why do you feel different now than you did before? The same thing happened. The person got the package, they threw it on the ground, they stomped on it, and they slammed the door. But you felt entirely different in the first scenario than you did the second scenario. What was different? You were different. That's what was different. Your expectations were different. That's what was different. In the first scenario, it's mine. That was my present. It was purchased with my money. It represents my love, and that was my loved one. In the second scenario, it's not mine. That's not my money. I mean, my present, it wasn't purchased with my money. It doesn't represent my love, and that's definitely not my loved one. So the degree to which you believe that it's yours is the degree to which you will be hurt, crushed, rejected, abandoned, angry, frustrated, taken advantage of. It'll be personal. But the degree to which you believe it's not yours is the degree to which you'll be curious, cautious, think they're crazy, but you won't take it personal because it's not about you. So you are the difference between the one scenario and the next. Now there's another thing that comes into this, that plays into this as well. And that is, in the first scenario, I didn't receive what I expected. When you were thinking about the scenario of your loved one and bringing that present, and weren't you expecting something? Didn't you expect that they would receive the gift, that they would be happy for the gift, that they would give you a thank you for the gift, that they might invite you in, spend some time together, maybe a hug, maybe, whatever. It just depends on the relationship as to determine what it is that you actually expected from the gift. But we always expect something from the gift. Because in human love gives in order to receive. Human love invests. It puts something of value in someone else with an expectation of greater value back. When you tell someone, I love you, is that a statement of fact or is it a request? Okay, well, you might say it's a statement of fact. Okay. If it's a statement of fact and you say, I love you, and they say, okay. And then you say, I love you, and they say, whatever. And you say, I love you, and they say, well, that's your problem. And you say, I love you, and they say, well, I don't love you. If every time you say, I love you, you get a response of that nature, how long are you going to say, I love you? Well, the answer is not very long. Why? Because I love you is not, in our human context, a statement of fact. It is a request for I love you too. You see, humans, in our context, in our condition that we find ourselves in, we give, we can be very generous. We give, but we give with the expectation of receiving back again. It's not a gift, it's an investment. You've heard the phrase, no strings attached. Well, in human love, there's no such thing as no strings attached. There's always strings attached. There's always an expectation of some kind of something in return for the gift that was given. And we know that. We know that intrinsically, we know that. If you have somebody that comes and knocks on your door and you've never met them before and they just moved into the neighborhood and they give you some chit chat and, small talk and whatever, and then they offer you a $20 bill. They say, here, use this for anything you want to. And then they walk away. What are you thinking? Well, some of you are thinking, I like this neighbor. Some of you are thinking, what's up? Well, if that same person came to you for the first time and they knocked on your door and the small chit chat and whatever, and then they hand you a suitcase and they say, here, this is for you. Use it for whatever you want. And they walk away and you open it up and the suitcase is full of $100 bills. Now what are you thinking? Yeah, there's a few of you thinking, I really like this neighbor. And most of you are thinking, oh boy, this is trouble. Why? Because you know by experience that everybody gives in order to receive. Everybody has some expectation of return back for that which they gave. Everybody is looking for something. And the bigger the gift, the bigger the string, the harder they can pull, the bigger the obligation. Hence, we are afraid to accept the bigger gifts because we know they come with bigger strings. Now, how much of a return that I need for my gift is dependent upon my expectations. If I have high expectations, I must have high returns in order to meet my expectation and believe that this is a successful investment. If it doesn't bring as much as I need, now I'm at loss. Right? So these are some of the intricacies of human nature and how we find ourselves in relationships. And this highlights some of the problems that we have that develop in relationships as well. So we need to go deeper. We need to go deeper. And we're going to begin deeper in our next presentation as we start looking at the heart and how the heart functions and, well, frankly, why do we do what we do? Right? We need to understand these things. We need to understand what's going on inside before we can ever be intelligently involved in fixing it with God's help. Or we can intelligently cooperate with God as he's fixing it with us. That's a better way of saying it. So that's where we're going to go. That's what we're going to look at next. Again, this is a lot to think about, a lot to chew on, so take some time to digest, review, watch it again, get these concepts down.